Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to The Walking Dead. So we actually have a new teaser here for The Walking Dead Season 11. See, I saw this here from The Walking Dead World on Twitter, so yeah, definitely recommend following that account if you do want to get more Walking Dead, just news in general. Some really great stuff there, but we actually did get this new teaser trailer here that showcases so much new footage. It actually looks to be very promising, and we do understand a certain part here of what the story is going to be, because there's a certain element of the story where I was like, in past videos, I would talk about wondering like what was their plan, right? Like, are they going to be going to the Commonwealth just to save everyone? Like, what is their overall plan here? Because Alexandria, the hilltop and whatnot, or I guess the kingdom as well, Oceanside, has been taken over by the Commonwealth. So what do they do now? And this trailer basically confirms what their plan is. And I mean, I don't know how you're going to execute that plan, because that's the thing. With something that big, you're going to have to really figure out a way to make that work because of how big of a threat the Commonwealth is, right? But anyways, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get more Walking Dead content like this. We're about 38 days away, or it's around there anyways. It's like 30 something days away anyways until The Walking Dead returns. And I'm super excited. It's almost September. Tales of the Walking Dead has been fun to talk about. I'll say that. Like, you know, episode 3 was a really great episode. 1 was all right, and 2 definitely was. I mean, there's been a lot of discussions about that episode. There's been a lot. Anyways, it's been a lot of fun to talk about, but obviously The Walking Dead's premiere, like coming in like a month and a half, less than that even now, you know, is the big thing here. So if you want to get all my reviews, trailer breakdowns, news about the final season here, or the last 8 episodes, then definitely hit subscribe. Now, for the new teaser that we got here, we actually do see a shot here of, I believe this is Alexandria, just because of the walls here. Actually, it says literally right here, Alexandria Processing Center. I'm guessing what they mean by this being the Alexandria Processing Center is they're literally making this, it says Outpost 22, so this is going to be similar to, I guess, the outpost that they had before, where, you know, we saw Eugene and other characters being processed by the Commonwealth to see if they can enter their main, you know, city, their main community. And that's actually interesting. And I do wonder if there's a little bit more of a backstory here to be told, right? If this is Outpost 22, they have a lot more outposts. Like, they have that many outposts out there of, I'm assuming, other communities that they just basically took over. So was this the original plan with Alexandria? Was this what Pamela Milton wanted? Because I know at the end of episode 16, everybody was just out there. They didn't have a place to go, this and that. But, you know, the ending events of 16, the stuff that happened with Leah and Lance, you know, that never really contributed to this, right? Like, I think this was the overall plan anyways. I think that the deal to join the Commonwealth was basically to you know, give up your rights of the communities that you're staying in. And I think it's exactly what happened here. I think this is why it happened to Alexandria. And I think with the Hilltop, because of what Maggie went through, and because of the force, and I guess, you know, what Lance is going to do to her now if they do actually find her, right? Like, everyone's wanted. I think it forces Hilltop under, you know, the ruling of the Commonwealth. And so I think that's exactly what we're getting here. And it's just such a cryptic shot because it's obviously nighttime. And it's Alexandria, right? It's gone now, basically. We do see a shot here of Rosita, and she seems to be a little concerned about the Commonwealth at this point. And I think she obviously knows a little bit more of what's going on, because I think that the Commonwealth at this point are now hunting down everyone and are trying to figure out where everybody went, because there's certain people that are definitely going to be wanted, especially people like Eugene or Connie, because of that newspaper that was released by Connie, right? There's actually a shot here where we see Connie, Magna, and Ezekiel. I believe this is from the later episodes, from like episodes like, I don't know, 20, 21, 22, 23, around there, just because of their outfits, and some of it matches some of those shots that we did see from those later episodes. And so obviously at this point they're hiding from the Commonwealth, and we'll talk about that right away, because there's going to be, well, there's some shots here that sort of connect to the overall theme here of what's going on. We do have a shot here of Mercer and the Commonwealth inside this base here, or I guess I don't want to say base, but inside this tunnel or sewer system. And this is obviously where they've been staying, right? Like, this is where they've been hiding out. And so at this point, the Commonwealth has found them. I don't know how long they're going to be in this tunnel for, but it doesn't seem like it's too long. The one thing I will say, though, and it's kind of hard to see, but if you actually look at this shot and you look behind Mercer, I believe that's Negan, right? That's totally him. Like, it looks like him. So I'm wondering if he gave up the location here, or maybe this was sort of a part of the deal here, because obviously we know that Negan gets interrogated by Mercer. And so what happens with that? I mean, maybe this is where he gets captured, right? Maybe they all go here and they hide out. And then Mercer goes here, and then he's the only one that they find here, and so he's taken in after this point. Or maybe Negan even led them here. I mean, again, there's going to be this crazy hunt for these characters. Everyone's wanted here. We see a shot of Daryl, Gabriel, and a bunch of other characters here still hiding out. This shot here of Daryl looks amazing because he's holding Rick's gun, and it's at the Commonwealth. Honestly, this will probably be my thumbnail shot because it just looks really incredible. I still want to know why he has the gun. Like, we know that he's probably going to find out Rick's alive here. It just makes sense with where the spinoffs are building to, especially because in a little over a year from now, we're going to be watching Rick, right, on screen again. So we know that this is the direction of the franchise now. This is where they're going. They're building to this. So it's not unreasonable to think that, oh, they're going to find out he's alive. It makes sense. They're ending it here. They're going to go out on top. So they're going to go all out here. And I know that they already had the gun. Like, whenever I say this, people always say, well, no, Judith already had the gun. So, I get that. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that he just found the gun and so it proves that he knows Rick's alive now. I'm not saying anything like that. The point I'm trying to make is it's interesting that he went to go find the gun and decided to use it, and I wonder why. Like, why did he decide to use the gun? Maybe at this point he already found out some really amazing information here, and so Daryl at this point, people are dealing with the Commonwealth. They want to take back their communities and just to sort of separate from the Commonwealth, but Daryl also has this other objective, this other thing, because he just found out that Rick's alive, and he believes that they know more about that, right? Maggie does say here, and I believe she's saying it to, I think that's Rosita right there, but Maggie says that she wants to take back their homes and stuff. And so that was the whole thing here. Like, that's what I mentioned in the beginning of the video here. I was wondering what their overall plan was. Are they fighting to take back their communities, or were they sort of under the belief that, they had to rebuild all that anyways? And I mean, they were, the hilltop was basically abandoned. And if you look at Alexandria, that was also really abandoned. The only reason why it actually started to get a little better there is because of the aid of the Commonwealth, right? They actually helped out those communities. They gave them supplies and resources. So it actually, but there obviously was a lot more there. There's a lot more that Lance and Pamela wanted. And so at this point, it seems like that's what they're planning to do here. And I'm trying to ignore what happens in the comic because, I mean, essentially what they're doing here is kind of different, because in the comic, what happens with the Commonwealth arc is not necessarily they take over Alexandria and we see all of that, because we never really saw any of that. It was just sort of drama at the Commonwealth. That was basically it, and drama with the leadership there. There wasn't really much more to it than that. And I really like what the show's doing here. The show is bringing in their own communities here, their own homes and stuff like that, and sort of connecting it to this, and it's making it feel a lot more authentic, I believe. And so now it makes sense. Maggie wants to fight back, and she actually wants to take her home back. She wants it for her own people. The issue with that is you're dealing with a community like the Commonwealth. I don't even want to say community. It's kind of a city or a force. Like, it's not like a little community like Alexandria or the Hilltop or Kingdom, right? Like, the Commonwealth is massive. There's 50,000 people. There's so much there. They have so many resources, power, electricity, everything. Like, there's likely deals with the Civic Republic there as well. Like, they're dealing with so much there that in order to deal with something like that, it's going to take a lot here. That's why it seems like Pamela Milton is going to be the one character. Pamela Milton and Lance, like, it's really the Miltons that you're dealing with, right? If you can take down the Miltons, I believe you can have a lot of people on your side. And I think that's where they're going to start to incorporate a lot of the comic story, which is basically that a lot of Pamela Milton's own people don't even like her, right? So I think they're going to have a lot more people backing them. And I think that's where the tables will turn and things will start to favor them, is once Pamela Milton loses the support of all of her people, and basically she just kind of loses the support of everyone. So, like, what happens now? If your people don't support you, you can't really stay in power anymore, right? And so I think that's where they're going to win. It's just a matter of trying to survive and get to that point and be able to really make that argument to everyone, because it's going to be really hard. I mean, Connie posted that thing out there in the newspaper about, Sebastian. But if you want to get some stuff on there about Pamela Milton, I mean, I imagine they're not going to let her do that anymore. So how is she going to get that out, right? If there's some stuff with Tyler Davis and the Civic Republic, how is she going to be able to get that out? Because I imagine she's never going to be able to post an article like that in the newspaper again. Like, there's no way. So somehow she's going to have to get this news out. And I wonder if some of the shots of Eugene making a speech sort of help with that. And I wonder if that's where they're playing their cards right with Mercer. Because if Mercer can still be on Pamela's side for a while, and if they see Mercer go against Pamela, that could be the big difference, right? We do see some shots of Pamela Milton in the train station here, and we see two guards here as well. This just looks incredible because the guards are shooting at, I don't know what. I'm assuming it's zombies. Like, I'm just going to assume it's zombies. I don't think they're shooting at a bunch of people here just because it makes no sense. I don't think at this point Pamela Milton is doing anything like that. Her reaction here is probably more to, you know, like there's zombies here. She seems to be really scared, and I think that's why she does scream here. I mean, that's the thing I will say as well. I mean, it is in the same area. It's still in the same setting. So maybe there is actually some like fighting between Daryl's group and the Commonwealth here, but that just feels like it would be a little too crazy at this point here. And again, now that we know what they want to do in terms of taking back their communities, it's going to be a matter of how, because they can't really just go in there and just start taking out a bunch of people. Like, it's never going to work. But it's also really scary to have those characters there as well. And I wonder if the Walker Horde that we know is going there was sort of timed, if they used that Walker Horde to infiltrate the Commonwealth and save everyone. And sort of that's a possibility, I think. I think that it makes a lot of sense to time it like that, because otherwise you're going in there dealing with the Commonwealth, and it would be really tricky. But if you time it with the Walker Horde, you know, everyone there is going to be panicking about that because they haven't dealt with anything like that, right? Like a Walker Horde inside the walls of the Commonwealth, which actually makes a lot of sense, because if you're going to do that and if it's going to be successful, you're going to have to need the cooperation of some of the military, right? Because the military is going to be on that. They won't let that happen, but Mercer's on your side. And so if you have a plan here, and if everything works out perfectly, it could work, right? And so I think that's how Daryl and them get there. But yeah, really incredible trailer here, to be honest. Like, I really like the fact that we got a lot more scenes here, and I'm really just too excited for this. I really cannot wait. I just want this show to come back already. It's starting to really dawn on me that The Walking Dead is ending, and that we're going to be going into this really, really exciting new era of the franchise with, you know, Rick Grimes coming back and just sort of the search for Rick. But there's also going to be other stuff with the Civic Republic, and that's the thing that I'm really excited about with all of that is, what is the story going to be there? Because the story of the Civic Republic and the Rick and Michonne show won't be the story of World Beyond. World Beyond dealt with some aspects to what they do, and I imagine they'll touch on that, you know, in future spinoffs and all that. But there's going to be a different story here. There's going to be a lot of things that are different, and I imagine the first season for Rick and Michonne, you know, is going to focus a lot on them finding each other, while also introducing some of that, you know, new story there with the Civic Republic and some of what they want to do with that. It's just a really exciting time to be a Walking Dead fan. I hate that it's August 25th. I just want it to be October already. But again, 30 something days and we're there. We're getting so close. It's almost here. So anyways, I'm gonna leave it here. Definitely post your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.